DPS has the most variety and a vast set of characters in Marvel Rival. There are several different subcategories of characters, but when it comes to pure damage-oriented characters that simply aims to maximize damage per second, Moon Knight may arguably top that list. With oppressive ranged firepower, Moon Knight dominates in the long and medium range, giving an edge to the tanks on the front lines. This character is game dominating and viable in both low ranks and even in my experiences in Grandmaster and the upper ranks. So the real question is, how do you play him? Moon Knight's primary fire is the Crescent Dart, and it's a one-of-a-kind type of attack. Moon Knight's Crescent Darts do immense damage with headshots two-shotting traditional 250 HP characters. Unlike all other primary fire, Moon Knight bounces off his enemies onto their allies. This ensures that even characters hiding behind their vanguards are not safe. Though something to note is that the more enemies the darts bounce off, the less damage they do after bouncing off the targeted enemy. This unique ability of his primary fire makes building up the ultimate quite easy and a fast process. A strategy to keep in mind is that if the tanks on the enemy team do not have shields, for example the Thing, Penny, Hulk, Venom, then Moon Knight's overall effectiveness is significantly higher as incoming damage from the darts cannot be avoided. Characters like Strange, Magneto, and even the new Emma Frost that have an easily disposable shield can constantly keep it out and prevent that constant damage. Now comes Moon Knight's most important ability, which is the Ancient Ankh. Ankhs are essential to Moon Knight's gameplay and toolkit in guaranteeing hits on his enemies. Once placed in proximity to the enemy, throwing Crescent Darts at the Ankh will directly hit them, with the enemy only left with two options: breaking the Ankh or running outside its range. The Ankh, once thrown, will pull all enemies closer to the Ankh if they're in the range. This ensures that you get at least one hit in before they run out of range. Throwing an Ankh onto a lone support will almost guarantee a kill if followed up with constant attacks. So he is also great at taking out support, despite him lacking abilities Dives possess, like Black Panther, which makes them great support killers. Moon Knight's main melee attack is his Triple Eclipse. Though they do significantly less damage, they're great at finishing off shield characters or even hard to hit enemies. The final of the three melee strikes launches the enemy up. Another attack Moon Knight has is his Moonblade. This attack has a roughly 6-second cooldown and can be constantly used in combination with the primary fire. Very recently, Moon Knight got a huge buff with this move. For every enemy hit with this move, Moon Knight gains 25 shield for 2 to 3 seconds. So if this attack is used on the tank and it ricochets off them, say onto 3 other allies, Moon Knight gains a whole 100 shield. This is huge given that he's a 250 HP character. Diving enemies will struggle to kill this character given that he's constantly regaining shield and he also has other leaping abilities. His survivability is not too bad. It's important to note that this attack can also bounce off Ankhs onto nearby enemies, hitting them for slightly more than typical Crescent Darts, so constantly throwing them out to maintain shield and do some more damage is a great idea. Speaking of which, Moon Knight has a couple of movement options. This includes his Rising Leap, Moonlight Hook, and his Night Glider. The Rising Leap is a typical super jump that lets the character jump quite high. Unlike characters like Hawkeye, Moon Knight can use his ability in conjunction with his Night Glider, which lets him glide and stay in the air for longer durations. Finally, his Moonlight Hook works like a typical grappling gun, which lets you shoot out a hook and pull him closer towards wherever the hook is shot. You can also shoot this right below your feet to shoot you straight up into the air. Now that all of these abilities have been explained, it's time to break down his uber powerful ultimate, the Hand of Khonshu. This ability rains down several constant powerful strikes that can almost instantly kill low HP enemies and tanks within a few seconds. This ultimate is balanced to the limited range it's held to. Escaping the ultimate's range is not that difficult. To counter this, a typical strategy is to pair the Ankh with the ultimate. So this will also mean avoiding that 12-second cooldown and holding on to that Ankh, which I know is kinda hard to do for Moon Knight players. When using the ultimate, throwing the Ankh in the middle will pull all nearby enemies closer to the Ankh and into the center of the ultimate, making the escape a lot more challenging. Throwing attacks onto the Ankh as well will almost guarantee a kill on the pulled enemies. This ultimate can be used constantly without needing to hold on to it, given that it's very easy to charge. But you can also hold on to it in hopes of using it in ideal situations. In certain situations, Moon Knight can also knock support characters out of their healing ultimates. Characters like Mantis and Luna, once her initial shield is broken, can be killed through their ultimate if they are right underneath Moon Knight's ultimate for a few seconds. As for his one and only team up, Moon Knight has a team up with his fellow fellow New York vigilantes, Cloak and Dagger, called Full Moon. This ability has a 30-second cooldown and once proc makes Moon Knight invisible to all enemies when he's within a small black circle. Something to note is that this ability also gradually heals him and can be used for healing purposes as well. This ability is great to keep enemies guessing and launch out counter strikes while healing any sustained damage. Generally, Moon Knight is not too great against aerial characters. I'm talking characters like Human Torch, Storm, Iron Man, but given his ranged fire, you can still take them out with good aim. Moon Knight is also quite weak against dive, but preparing with an Ankh in proximity nearby is always a good idea. If characters like Spider-Man run into you for a combo, instantly striking darts at the Ankh will guarantee a hit and a fighting chance. Let me know what you think about Moon Knight down in the comments below. He's a legitimate and very powerful character in Season 2.0 with his buffs and given the state of the games, and I hope this guide was helpful. That being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.